Number 7 is the last problem on this sheet, and intentionally it's the most difficult one. So what we need to do with 7 is we need to move this 3x, and then we also need to divide by what's in front of the y here. First thing I'm going to do is move the x. So to move a positive 3x, I'm going to subtract 3x from each side. These are equal and opposite and go away, and just leave me with negative 4y. When I go to combine the 12 and negative 3x, they're not like terms, so I have to keep them separate. I'm going to write the x term first, negative 3x, and the number next, positive 12. I've now got everything in the right positions. Y is on the left, x's and numbers are on the right. But I don't have it solved for one y. I always need to make sure that it's just y, not 2y, or in this case, negative 4y. So I can do this in 1 step or 2 steps. I'm going to choose to do it in 2 steps, but it's absolutely fine if you do both the negative and the 4 at the same time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 4. On this side, 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. That negative's still around, so it stays negative y. Here, negative 3 over 4 can't be reduced in any way, but I can pull it out front as a fraction, so it's easier to use. Negative 3 over 4x. When I divide 12 by 4, I get an answer of 3. So this is the correct answer if I was solving for negative y, but I always want to have positive 1y to get it in the final form I'm looking for. So in order to do that, I could see this a number of different ways. To get rid of that negative y, I could just multiply by a negative 1. Multiplying a negative times a negative would make it a positive. Another way I could see it is I could divide each thing by negative 1. Dividing a negative by a negative would be a positive. Even though we're really doing either of those things as far as what's mathematically underlying our next step, what either of those things does is changes every sign. So if I take this whole equation and I multiply it by negative 1, what used to be a negative y becomes a positive y. What used to be a negative 3/4 x becomes a positive 3/4 x. And what used to be a positive 3 becomes a negative 3. So essentially, if you have negative y, all you need to do to make it a positive y is switch each of the other signs in the equation. That'll get us to the correct final answer. Y equals 3/4 x minus 3.